On the morning of Friday, June 14, 2013, 46-year-old Robert Mayer started his day like any other. He left his home in Dix Hills on Long Island, New York at 4:30 a.m. to head to a job in Brooklyn, where his electrical union was working on a newly built theater complex. Rob had been with the union for nearly 25 years. He was looking forward to a Father's Day family barbecue that weekend and called his wife, Ida, around 9 a.m. to discuss picking up lobsters and oysters. Barbecuing was something he loved, and in addition to his wife and 2 children, he had invited his mother and in-laws to the gathering. They also talked about their upcoming trip to Italy on July 7th. In the early afternoon, Rob left the job in Brooklyn. By 1:45 p.m., his cell phone pinged near the Northern State Parkway in Melville, closer to home. This would be the last cell phone ping recorded for Robert Mayer. At 2:15 p.m., security footage captured Robert at Arrow Scrapyard on Kean Street in West Babylon, where he sold about $300 worth of scrap metal. The footage showed him looking scared and worried. The foreman mentioned Robert had been a long-time, though occasional, customer. This was the last time anyone saw Robert Mayer. At 2:41 p.m., a neighbor's surveillance camera captured Robert's 2004 red Pontiac GTO pulling into the driveway of his family's home. Unfortunately, the camera only caught the car, making it unclear whether Robert was alone, or even in the car at all. 10 minutes later, the car left the driveway. At 2:45 p.m., Robert's cell phone was either turned off or went dead. Around 3 p.m., Ida returned home with their children. She expected Rob to be home soon, but wasn't too concerned initially, as he wasn't always punctual. As the hours passed, however, Ida grew increasingly worried. Searching around the home, she found Robert's cell phone, wallet, ID card, and approximately $300 in cash, the same amount he had received from selling scrap metal, sitting in a drawer in the garage. These were items Robert had with him earlier in the day, leaving her puzzled as to why they were now at home. She also noticed his green mountain bike was missing, and his sister later confirmed that Robert's shotgun was unaccounted for as well. That evening, Ida filed a missing persons report with the Suffolk County Police Department. On June 15th, the day after Robert's disappearance, friends of the family made a troubling discovery. Robert's beloved car was found abandoned in the Long Island Railroad parking lot at Deer Park Station. This was highly unusual, as Robert never used the train and actively avoided the Long Island Railroad when traveling to New York City. His wife, Ida, was adamant that Robert would never park there, especially without securing the car with a club on the steering wheel, as he cherished that car. The car was locked, but the keys were missing, and the driver's seat was adjusted forward as if for someone much shorter than Robert, who stood at 6'1". Even more unsettling, key items that Robert always kept in the trunk, his tools, lunchbox, and water bottles, were gone. Unfortunately, the train station had no security cameras to reveal who had driven the car. Ida quickly organized volunteers to search for Robert. Along with the police, they combed through the wooded Edgewood Preserve near the train station, but found no clues. Family, friends, and volunteers also distributed missing person flyers throughout the area, hoping for any lead. What happened to Robert Mayer? His family says he had never spent a night away from his wife and children. Described as a loving, caring man, Rob would do anything for his family, friends, and neighbors. Since that fateful Friday, there has been no activity on his bank accounts or social media. Born on February 17, 1967, Rob grew up in Old Bethpage before settling in Dix Hills. He had been married to his wife, Ida, for 18 years, and together they have a son and daughter. Rob loved relaxing at home, watching TV and playing video games with his kids. Known as a homebody, he also enjoyed playing the drums, barbecuing, and spending time with family. Rob's generosity extended to his community. After Hurricane Sandy, he helped neighbors set up their generators and shared whatever they needed. His absence is deeply felt by all who knew him. But there were secrets some neighbors may not have known. In the late 1990s, Rob fell from a roof at Elmhurst Hospital in Queens, landing on a pipe and breaking all of his ribs, leading to severe pain. He was prescribed pain medication, which led to an addiction. The family was divided on whether this issue persisted. According to news articles, Ida believed he had overcome it, while his mother and sister thought he was still struggling. His mother and sister told reporters they believed Rob often scrapped metal to pay for OxyContin, which caused tension at home. After seeing the footage from the scrapyard, Ida began to worry. She also speculated to news outlets that problems at work or debts might have contributed to his disappearance. There was even mention of the Russian mob, though the basis for this remains unclear. Rob's mother and sister began to grow suspicious, feeling that some of Ida's stories seemed inconsistent. They wondered if she held a key piece to the puzzle of his disappearance. They also speculated that Ida's involvement in a past mortgage fraud scheme might have played a role. In 2002, the New York State Attorney General's office began investigating a mortgage fraud ring that stole millions from financial institutions. In 2006, Ida was indicted along with 7 others, and in 2007, she pled guilty to falsifying business records. She received a conditional discharge, 75 hours of community service, and a $25,000 civil judgment. When asked about the possibility of the fraud being connected to Rob's disappearance, Ida said it was resolved 8 years ago. Police have continued to state that they do not suspect foul play in Robert's disappearance, implying that he either left voluntarily or took his own life, neither of which makes sense to those who knew him. By all accounts, Robert was a devoted family man who had never spent a night away from his wife and children. The idea that he would just walk away seems unlikely, especially given that none of his bank accounts have been accessed, and the money he received that day was left behind. The possibility of suicide also feels implausible, as no body has ever been recovered. For a man so deeply connected to his family, these explanations leave more questions than answers. An interesting connection arises with the last place Robert was seen. A little over 2 years later, on August 11, 2015, another man disappeared on Kean Street in West Babylon, directly across from Arrow Scrapyard, where Robert was last seen. Mark Baranek, a 60-year-old man, was managing an adult entertainment store and strip club called World 2. According to NamUs, the national database for missing and unidentified persons, Baranek last seen at the adult entertainment venue on Kean Street, located in a heavily industrialized area, mentioned running an errand but never returned. Baranek sometimes lived at the store, adding to the mystery. It's unclear if these 2 cases are connected. Over 10 years have passed, and Robert Mayer is still missing. When last seen, he was wearing a gray polo shirt with a JC Electrical logo, blue jeans, black work boots, and Ray-Ban sunglasses. Rob has brown hair, hazel eyes, and a distinctive feature, a slightly chopped-off tip on the middle finger of his left hand. He also has a mole under his left eye and was wearing a gold wedding ring. Rob's family and friends miss him dearly and deserve answers. If you have any information, please contact the Suffolk County Police Department.